Hey yo, it's me, the one and only, the Marv Talks from the LOFM podcast and Marv Talks. Yo, which we all know, I am from Minnesota, so this episode is called Minnesota Lingo, where I'm going to talk about some of the slang we use in Minnesota, some of the food, some of the places to visit, just Minnesota in general, and what Minnesota has to offer, because a lot of people want to know, like, what Minnesota is, because on the West Coast, people act like Minnesota don't exist. You guys see the tattoo right there. So some of the slang we use back in Minnesota, that's tight. What's good, bro? This is the one a lot of people, we don't really use this, you betcha. And a lot of people, like, our slang is, we call soda, like, we don't say soda pop, we call it pop. A lot of people be like, who calls it pop? That's a Minnesota thing, we call it pop. We always say Skull Gang, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if you're a Viking fan, you see it. You see the horns. They're somewhere up there. But back home, we say Skull Gang, or we say Skull Viking. Skull, if you're Viking fans, you know about that. And we always say for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, super bad. For sure bad. We you know, when you get into the hoods, you know, it gets a little bit, I don't think it's appropriate for my podcast, for my YouTube. But if you follow the podcast, LFM podcast, I'm going to do a part 2 of Minnesota Lingo, where I'm going to dig deep into a lot of this stuff. So Minnesota has a lot of attractions that you can do. It's a great place to visit. We got 39 museums. That's a lot of museums. We got a great wildlife. We got, I think they call it the Lands of 1,000 Lakes, but I feel like it's more than 1,000, 10,000, 100. Yeah, it's more than 10,000 lakes. I think it's about 11,000 lakes. What else? The Minnesota State Fair, which is always good. We also have a concert that comes to Minnesota called SoundCloud. It always rains. I hope it don't rain this time, and I hope that Lil Wayne show up this time. What else I know from Minnesota? I'm going to try to go off the top of the dome. So we got the Mall of America, the best mall in the world, by the way. It's super huge. Make sure if you ever go visit Minnesota and you go visit that mall, that you got your walking shoes on and that you're ready for it, because the mall is super long. There's a lot of stores. It's a lot of walking. The Target Center where the Timberwolves play. Go Wolves. We ain't in the playoffs. U.S. Bank Field, that's where the Vikings play. U.S. Bank of America Field. Man, y'all, I forgot what it's called. Y'all get me on this one. Please get me. Jordan me my face for forgetting that one. We all know we got First Ave. That was a place that noticed Prince. You know, we know Prince is a Minnesota icon. The Target Field where the Minnesota Twins play. To me, people always ask me this. They'll be like, yo, Marv, what do you love the most about Minnesota? And I always say the food. And I'm going to name off a bunch of food places, but there's still more than that. To me, Minnesota has the best food. Like, I done been all over. I've been to Vegas, Seattle, Portland, California. Where else have I've been some places, St. Louis. I done been North Carolina. I done been some places, and nothing takes the cake. Takes the cake like Minnesota. Like Minnesota. Here goes some of the food. We got Little Oven Pizza. We got Mama's Pizza. I can't really compare the two because they're different, you know. But it's always over here, Mama's Pizza over everything if I have to pick. But you know, we got Lian Chin, that's an Asian restaurant, and it's like it's only in Minnesota. Like when I first moved to the West Coast, when I was in Seattle, when I first moved to Seattle, I was like, hey, where can I get some Lian Chin? And people was like, what? Like what? I'm like, where can I get some Lian Chin? It's like, excuse me, what is that? I'm like, it's the best. It's like, it's better than Pan Express. No, we only have Pan Express. Then I would be like, where's the White Castles at? We don't have a White Castles. Like, Vegas got White Castle, but Seattle didn't have White Castle, so this would drive me crazy. When I first moved out there, I was like, man, there's nothing there, no White Castles. You have to buy the White Castle and heat them up in the microwave. What else? South China. It's a restaurant. Leo's over on the east side. Fried rice. Man, it's kind of hard to explain for the people that never. But my people that's from Minnesota that subscribe to the channel and watch the channel, they know that. But like, yeah, Marv talking that talk. Hickory Hut. Woo wee. Hickory Hut. Man, Hickory Hut, the best chicken wings. But Ferns. Man, Ferns, it was Hickory Hut and Ferns. They closed Ferns down. I literally was in Minnesota the last day that Ferns was closing, and I got me some Fern wings, and I brought them back, and I massacred them. A&J Fish and Chicken. If you know me, and when I lived in Minnesota, you know that I always had A&J's, the catfish. It got to a point where they used to give me free food. Like, I was just walking there and they show me love. Shout out to Wally, man. He used to show me good love whenever I would come in there. Matt's Bar, home of the Juicy Lucy's. Like, you know, Matt's Bar got the good food there. What else? Cheese curds, fried cheese curds. You can get them at pretty much everywhere. It's another place I'm forgetting. Is it JJ Fish? JJ Fish? I think JJ Fish over on University. That food is cool. It's so much. It's like I could go on and on. But it's just like this. I call this the Minnesota lingo because Minnesota is just a great place. I love that place so much. Like, it's my hometown, you know what I'm saying? Even though I don't live there, but I always go back there, and when I go back there, I always go for those same food places. Everybody like, man, we should switch it up, Mar. No, go make sure I always go see Tony at Mama's Pizza. You know, it's those relationships I build with people from when I was there, so it's kind of hard to break. So it's like whenever I go home, I do the same thing. I go to the same places, I eat the same things, and that be that. And like I said, Minnesota is a great place to visit. So for anybody that for all the people that always want to ask me, oh, Mark, what is Minnesota like? I gave you a little bit. We got 39 museums. We got the biggest mall. We got a bunch of tourist things. We got some of the best nightclubs when people ain't acting stupid and dumb. Well, I used to be one of those knuckleheads, so let me cool it out. But it's just, Minnesota's just a great place. And you know, lately I've been beefing with Minnesota, you know, because of some people back home haven't really been supporting me and my movement. But other than that, I love Minnesota more than anything. Like I said, it's tattooed all over my body. Shout out to everybody in Minnesota. Shout out to everybody in St. Paul, Duluth, Minneapolis, the north side, the south side, the east side, the Selby side, the rainy White Bear, you name it. I know I'm forgetting names, but shout out to everybody in Minnesota. I love y'all. And like I said, it's Minnesota lingo, baby. And I'm out.